Most people walk past the seed rack in April and grab whatever looks familiar. Tomatoes, maybe some peppers. They plant them, water them, wait, and by July they're staring at a garden that's barely alive, wondering what went wrong. Here's what went wrong. They planted the right seeds at the wrong time, or the wrong seeds entirely. April is not just another month in the garden. April is the tipping point. What you put in the ground right now will decide whether your summer table is full or empty, and I'm not being dramatic about that. Today, I'm going to show you the 7 seeds that will actually guarantee your summer harvest, no matter what zone you're in, no matter how much growing experience you have. These aren't random picks. Every single one of these was chosen because it performs in April conditions across the United States, from the cool north all the way down to the humid south. And for each one, I'm going to give you something most gardening videos don't, the one tip that actually makes the difference between a plant that struggles and a plant that absolutely takes off. And stay with me through seed number 7, because that one surprised me, and I have a feeling it's going to surprise you too. Let's start with the one that should already be in your shopping cart. Seed number 1, bush beans. If you've never grown bush beans, you are leaving the easiest summer food on the table. These plants don't ask much from you. They don't need a trellis, they don't need coddling, and they don't need a perfectly prepared garden bed. What they need is warm soil and to be left alone. April is their moment because soil temperatures in most parts of the U.S. are hitting 60 degrees by mid-month. That's the magic number for bean germination. Below 60, the seeds just sit there and rot. At 60 and above, they wake up fast, sometimes within 5 or 6 days. Here's how you plant them. Push each seed about 1 inch into the soil, space them 3 to 4 inches apart, and keep your rows around 18 inches from each other. That's it. No pre-soaking, no indoor starting, no special treatment. Beans resent being transplanted, so this is one you always sow directly in the ground. Do that for a row and come back in 50 to 60 days. You'll have more beans than you know what to do with. Now here's the tip that separates experienced gardeners from everyone else. Succession planting. Don't sow all your beans at once. Plant one row now, then another row 10 days later, then another 10 days after that. What this does is stagger your harvest. Instead of getting every single bean at the same time in one overwhelming wave, you get a continuous supply of fresh beans all the way through August. Most beginner videos never mention this. Now you know. For variety, look for Blue Lake 274 or Provider. Both are disease-resistant, widely available at U.S. garden centers, and consistently high producers. Get those in the ground this week. Seed number 2, cucumbers. There's something almost cinematic about pulling a cucumber off a vine you grew yourself. The smell alone is worth it. And the good news is that cucumbers are far easier to grow than most people assume, as long as you understand one important thing about how they work. Cucumbers hate being moved. Their roots are delicate, almost fragile, and transplanting stresses them badly. This is why April is so critical. It's your ideal direct sow window before the heat arrives. Plant them now, let them settle in place, and they'll reward you with fruit by the 4th of July in most zones. If you're in zones 6 through 10, go ahead and direct sow right now. Zones 3 through 5, start a few seeds indoors in mid-April, but do it in biodegradable pots so you can plant the whole thing in the ground without disturbing the roots. You'll transplant them around late May once frost risk is gone. Planting specs. 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep, 3 to 6 seeds per planting spot, spaced about 18 to 24 inches apart. Once seedlings emerge, thin to the strongest one. They germinate in 3 to 10 days and harvest in 50 to 70 days from seed. Now here's the tip I wish someone had told me my first season. Put your trellis up at the same time you sow the seeds, not after they start growing. Right now at planting time. Trellised cucumbers produce significantly more fruit than vines left on the ground. They stay cleaner, they're easier to spot when it's time to harvest, and the airflow around the leaves dramatically reduces disease. Most people add the trellis as an afterthought when the vines are already sprawling. By then, you've already lost momentum. My top recommendation for U.S. gardens is tender green burpless, low bitterness, resistant to powdery mildew, and it keeps producing even in the heat of midsummer. Seed number 3, zucchini. I'm going to be straight with you about zucchini. One plant will produce more food than you expect. 2 plants will produce enough to share with your neighbors. 3 plants and you'll find yourself leaving bags of zucchini on strangers' doorsteps at midnight, hoping no one sees you. Start with 1. That's my honest advice. What makes zucchini the perfect April seed is speed. From seed in the ground to your first harvest is as few as 45 days. In the gardening world, that's almost instant gratification. Soil needs to reach 70 degrees for germination, so if you're in zones 7 through 10, direct sow right now. Zones 3 through 5, start a few seeds indoors in mid-April, but do it in biodegradable pots so you can plant the whole thing in the ground without disturbing the roots. You'll transplant them around late May once frost risk is gone. Planting specs: half an inch to 1 inch deep, 3 to 6 seeds per planting spot, spaced about 18 to 24 inches apart. Once seedlings emerge, thin to the strongest one. They germinate in 3 to 10 days and harvest in 50 to 70 days from seed. Now here's the tip I wish someone had told me my first season. Put your trellis up at the same time you sow the seeds, not after they start growing. Right now, at planting time. Trellised cucumbers produce significantly more fruit than vines left on the ground. They stay cleaner, they're easier to spot when it's time to harvest, and the airflow around the leaves dramatically reduces disease. Most people add the trellis as an afterthought when the vines are already sprawling. By then, you've already lost momentum. My top recommendation for U.S. gardens is tender green burpless. Low bitterness, resistant to powdery mildew, and it keeps producing even in the heat of midsummer. Seed number 4, carrots. Seed number 4, basil. Let me ask you something. How much did you spend on fresh basil last summer? Because if you bought it at the grocery store, you probably paid $7 or $8 for a small bunch that wilted in 2 days. One packet of basil seeds costs about the same and will produce more basil than you can use all season long. This is one of those seeds that makes you realize how simple abundance can actually be. Basil needs warmth to thrive. Soil temperatures above 60 degrees for germination. In zones 8 through 10, direct sow now. Everyone else, start seeds indoors this week, ideally on a heating mat if you have one. They'll germinate in 5 to 10 days, and you can transplant outdoors once nighttime temperatures stay consistently above 50 degrees. Plant a 1/4 inch deep, and once established, thin to 12 inches of spacing between plants. Harvest begins in about 40 days. Now here's the trick that keeps basil productive all summer. Sow a new batch of seeds every 3 weeks. One planting of basil will eventually flower, and when it does, leaf production drops off fast. The leaves get smaller and slightly bitter. By starting a new round every few weeks, you always have young, productive plants in rotation. And whenever you see flower buds forming, pinch them off immediately. That simple act tells the plant to redirect its energy back into leaf growth. 2 varieties worth mentioning: Italian Genovese for the classic pesto flavor, and Thai basil if you love Southeast Asian cooking. Both grow beautifully from April starts. Both will make your kitchen smell extraordinary all summer. Seed number 5, tomatoes. From seed, started indoors. I know what some of you are thinking. Isn't it too late to start tomatoes from seed in April? No. And I want to say that clearly because this is one of the biggest misconceptions that keeps people from trying. April is actually the last reliable seed starting window for most U.S. zones, and it's absolutely still worth doing. Tomatoes need 6 to 8 weeks indoors before they're ready for the ground. Start them now, and you'll be transplanting strong, healthy seedlings in late May or early June. Here's how. Sow seeds a 1/4 inch deep in seed starting mix, not garden soil. Keep the containers somewhere warm, ideally between 70 and 80 degrees. A simple heating mat works wonders here. They'll germinate in 5 to 10 days. Once they emerge, they need light immediately. A bright south-facing window works in a pinch, but a basic grow light will give you dramatically thicker, stronger seedlings. When it's time to transplant, here's a tip that will genuinely change your tomato game. Bury the stem deep. I mean really deep, up to 2/3 of the plant underground. Unlike almost any other vegetable, tomatoes grow roots along their buried stems. A plant that goes into the ground 6 inches suddenly has roots running 12 inches down. That means better moisture access, better nutrient uptake, and a plant that can handle the heat of August without falling apart. For varieties, I'll give you 3 options covering different needs. Sun Gold cherry tomatoes for sweet, abundant snacking, San Marzano for the richest, meatiest sauce tomatoes you've ever tasted, and Cherokee Purple for those of you who want an heirloom with a story. It originated in Tennessee and consistently wins taste tests at tomato festivals across the country. Deep, dusky color, extraordinarily complex flavor. Start all of them now. You still have time. Seed number 6, beets. This is the one that most gardening videos skip. And that's a mistake because beets might be the most underappreciated vegetable you can grow in April. Here's why they deserve a spot on this list. Beets will germinate in soil as cold as 40 degrees. While you're waiting for other plants to be ready, beets are already working. They don't need special treatment, they don't need warm soil, and a late frost won't faze them at all. In terms of April reliability across all U.S. zones, beets are almost unbeatable. Plant them 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep, about 1 inch apart in rows, then thin to 3 or 4 inches once seedlings appear. Don't skip the thinning. Crowded beets produce small, distorted roots. But here's the part I really want you to pay attention to. Beets give you 3 completely different harvests from one planting. The first harvest happens 2 to 3 weeks after germination when you thin the seedlings. Those baby thinnings are tender and slightly earthy, perfect raw in salads. The second harvest is your full beet roots at around 50 to 60 days. The third harvest is the beet greens, the leafy tops that most people throw away. They cook beautifully, just like spinach, and they're packed with nutrition. One row of beets is actually 3 different vegetables in one. That's value that most gardeners are completely missing. For variety, try a mix. Golden beets are sweeter and won't stain your cutting board. Chioggia beets have that beautiful candy stripe pattern inside and a mild flavor that converts beet skeptics. Bull's blood is more dramatic, with deep red-purple leaves that double as ornamental plants in the garden. Get a short row of beets in this week. You'll thank yourself later. And now, seed number 7, the one I've been building towards, the one I told you at the start would surprise you. Okra. I can already see some of you raising an eyebrow. Bear with me. Okra is the most heat-resilient vegetable you can grow from seed in April, and that matters more than people realize. Here's the thing about summer gardens. July and August are brutal. Lettuce bolts. Peas give up. Even tomatoes drop their blossoms in extreme heat and stop setting fruit. But okra thrives in exactly the conditions that destroy everything else. The hotter it gets, the happier okra becomes. It keeps producing through the peak of summer when the rest of your garden is struggling. This is why it belongs on every American gardener's list. Not just in the South, where it's already beloved, but anywhere warm enough to support it, which is more of the country than you'd think. April is when you get your okra started. Sow seeds directly in warm soil at 65 to 70 degrees. Here's a step most people skip. Soak the seeds overnight in water before planting, or nick the seed coat lightly with a nail file. Okra seeds have a notoriously tough exterior, and this simple prep speeds germination dramatically. Plant 1 inch deep, 12 to 18 inches apart. They need full sun, and they'll grow tall, 6, 8, sometimes 10 feet by midsummer. First harvest comes in 50 to 65 days, and this is critical. Harvest when pods are 3 to 4 inches long. That is the window. Let them go past 5 inches and they become tough and stringy. But when you catch them at that perfect size, okra is genuinely delicious. Tender, slightly sweet, with none of the sliminess that puts people off when it's overcooked. Once your okra plants hit full stride in July and August, they produce new pods almost daily. While everyone else's garden is surviving, yours will be thriving. That is the real power of planning your April planting correctly. Now, before I wrap this up, I want to give you 3 things that most videos leave out, the things that actually determine whether all this planting pays off. The first one is about the mistake that silently kills April sowings, planting too deep in cold soil. When the ground is still cold, seeds planted at the standard depth from midsummer, say 1.5 inches or 2 inches, don't get enough warmth to trigger germination. They just sit there until they rot. In April, plant at the shallow end of the depth range on your seed packet,